Hey guys, so today's a kind of two-in-one video. I'm going to show you the biggest differences between contouring and bronzing. And then I'm also going to review a few different bronzers and contouring powders as well. First off, the biggest difference between bronzing and contouring is when you're contouring, you're adding depth and definition, and the biggest place people tend to contour is their cheekbones, and that helps create a more lifted cheek as well as a more defined cheekbone. And right now I just have a very slight contour going on right here. I'm going to show you and actually make it a little bit deeper and kind of play around with it. And then another big difference is you're going to want to use, if you use a bronzer to contour, which you absolutely can, you definitely want to use something matte. You don't want to have a whole lot of shimmer going on because that's going to reflect light and kind of defeat the purpose. So let's see. First I'm going to show you my favorite contouring powder at the moment. This is a Smashbox contouring kit. I got this at Ulta, and I believe they have it at Sephora as well, but it is actually a contouring, bronzing, highlighting kit. And right here is the contouring powder, and you can see the biggest difference over here from the bronzer is that this is a lot more gray. Because that's going to add more depth and create more of a shadow look to help you get that very defined cut looking cheekbone as well as jawline as well. And it helps slim the face is another big thing. And I'll swatch this for you. I'm not sure how well we're going to be able to see it with my lighting, but so here it is. It's not picking up real well, but it's you know, a dark matte brown that has a lot of gray undertone to it, and I'm gonna swatch the bronzer right next to it. And this is a matte bronzer in this kit, so it's also good for contouring. It's just not gonna give you such a defined look. So under it right here is the bronzing powder. You can see it's not as dark and it's not as gray. Okay. So the places that you want to contour, that most people contour again, are the cheekbones and a little bit under the jawline to help thin out your face, and then around the temples. And I'm going to show you my favorite brush to use, which is what the kit came with. It's just a contouring brush, but it's angled and it's quite thin. You don't really want to use something too thick and fluffy because it's just going to kind of spread it all around and not get that very defined look that you're going for. This is a MAC contouring brush. It's just a little bit bigger and fluffier than the Smashbox one that came in the kit. I do use this occasionally for contouring as well, but I really like it for blush. I'm not a huge fan of the huge fluffy blush brushes. I find that I can't get it exactly where I want it, and I like to place blush first and then blend it out. So another good one to contour with is this one right here. It's really, really tiny. I'll show you next to the Smashbox one. It's angled. This is great if you're going for that ultra defined look. You're just going to want to make sure and blend it out so you don't have a big old flat crazy looking line. But this is really good to start off with too if you're not really sure, you haven't really done a lot of contouring. This is a great one to place it with and then buff it out. Let's see, one other one. I don't use this too much for contouring. It doesn't give me, let's see, a strong enough line or a defined enough contour, but some people like to do this. It's just a fan brush. This one's Laura Mercier's. I use this a lot for powder and bronzer, but some people like to just do a very, very light contour and sweep it, you know, in the cheeks and then fan it around and down. And that's the shape that you're going to want to go for when you are contouring. You're doing almost like a 3. You're going to start here at the temples and a little above your temple, and you're going to come down and around to the hollows of your cheeks, and then down to your jawbone. And what I do to even cheat or fake even higher cheekbones is I don't go, when I'm contouring in the hollows of my cheeks, I go right above directly on my cheekbone, and you can feel around, or kind of a silly way to do is make your crazy fishy face and then you can feel it right there. But I like to start just at the very top of it, and then the brush will go slightly into the hollows, and you can blend it out that way. As opposed to when I go straight in the hollows, I just don't find that I get the, you know, the higher cheekbone effect that I want. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll do a heavier contour so you can see it more. And so you're just going to tap your brush in, and then you might dot it off on the back of your hand a little bit so you don't have too much product and it's not too hard to blend out. But you're just going to pat it on from the very top, back by your ear, down towards the bottom, and you're going parallel with your jawbone. And I find that when I pat, I deposit the color evenly, and then I just blend it out like this. Now this is heavier than I would typically wear, but this is just going to pick up on camera better to show you the difference. So here, let me see if you can see. Here's the side, the one I just did quite a bit, and then this is a very light contour. So this is typically how I wear it. You know, it just gives you that extra definition right there. And then you can go back here, and again I just pat it on to deposit the color and blend it out. And then I'll go from the top of this and right under the jawline, and that'll slim that down. So that's really the basics of contouring. Some people do their nose. I don't ever mess with that. I just do, you know, the highlighter down it. But as far as bronzing, what you're really going for is a very bronzed, glowy, sun-kissed look. And if you put the contouring powder all over, you're not going to get the sun-kissed look. You're going to look kind of silly, so don't do that. And real quick, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to show you what I use. This Smashbox one I use in the summer when I have a little bit more tan, when I'm pale in the winter, and I'm very, very pale in the winter, so anyone that's got light skin, this is a perfect, perfect, perfect shade. It's actually a blush by MAC, and it's called Harmony, and it's matte. And I'm going to swatch this and put it next to the Smashbox contouring one. So this is a Smashbox one, and then right here's the MAC one. And this is just great for paler skin tones, or if you don't want such a defined look. So anyway, back to the bronzing. Sorry, I'm kind of crazy today. Like I said, you're going for a sun-kissed, glowy, bronzed look. And my absolute favorite bronzer at the moment is by Guerlain. I'm sure I'm not saying that perfectly, but it's the Terracotta bronzer, and it looks like this in a little compact. And here it is. And this is shade 3, which is not on here, the name, but I'm pretty sure it's called Natural. And that's just what fits my skin tone the best. And I'm a NC30, by the way, in MAC, if that helps anybody. This is absolutely beautiful. It doesn't have very much shimmer to it. It does have a very, very small amount, but it's not real shimmery. And here's a swatch of that. And it's not orange at all. It may look slightly on camera, but it is absolutely not orange, which I know a lot of people have problems with, is finding something that's not orange. And when I do bronzer, I don't have my brush out here. I actually use a fluffy blush brush. I'll just go ahead and use this one. No, hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, so I got my bronzing brush. So real quick, I know I'm crazy jumping all over the place, but I forgot to tell you guys, this is Sonia Kushak, this real teeny contouring brush, and it's available at Target, so great brush to have in your collection. So back to bronzing. This is the brush that I typically use to do my bronzing with. It's a duo fiber, so it's got the real thin, soft, white, natural hairs on the top, and then the synthetic, you know, black hairs on the bottom. And it's very good for picking up a small amount of product and then buffing it out and blending it out. And where I typically do my bronzer is I will go on the cheekbone, so I'll go actually just above my contour. And I'm going to switch to this side where I did the contour. I pat it on just above the contour, and then I just buff it out. And it just helps add a lot of warmth to the face, opposed to just contouring. And you can skip the contouring when you're, you know, when you're doing bronzer. You can do either or, whatever you're comfortable with. And then also I like to go on the forehead, and I just lightly dust it and kind of buff it out. And then on the chin, and sometimes I go along the nose. Your goal is to put the bronzer where the sun naturally hits your face, so it does look natural and not fakey, tanny, you know, silly. So that's really where I go with the bronzer. And I'm gonna show you a couple other ones. This Guerlain one, that's my absolute favorite. It is really pricey. It's I believe it's $48. That's, you know, just round up and say it's $50. It's wonderful to have. It will last you forever. So if you can spend the little bit of extra money for your perfect bronzer, they have several different shades, so you will find your skin tone and what's going to match you best in this line. Another great one is the Hoola bronzer by Benefit, and I know a lot of people contour with this as well. I'll swatch it. Again, it's not as gray as the contouring powders, but it does really well. It is a more gray bronzer. I don't know if you can see it right here. So it's a good one to contour with in the winter for me, or a bronzer to use in the winter just to add a little bit of warmth to the face. If you're real tan, this one isn't a great one to use. It's a little bit light, but it's a great one. They have it at Sephora, Ulta. Let's see what else. As far as a matte bronzer goes in a drugstore line, there are a couple. This one is a very popular one. You can get it at, I believe they have it at Target, Walmart. It's by NYC. It's called Sunny, and it's a matte bronzer as well. And I'll swatch that when I'm running out of room here. And here this one is, right there. So it really is a good color. It's not too orange. I would say it's a little bit more orange than the Guerlain one or even the Hoola, but it's a great one for, I believe it's $2. I mean, you can't really beat that for something that works for your skin tone. So that's a good one to pick up. Yeah, okay. Thanks guys for watching. See you later. Bye-bye.